CISA started in 1993, and there were a group of people, lots of different kinds of people, farmers and people working in colleges and universities, nonprofit people, and just people who cared a lot about food and about our agricultural landscape. And they were worried that agriculture in our region was really threatened, that there was a lot of development pressure, it was hard for farmers to get land and to be able to afford land, and that increasingly our food system was bringing in food from all over the place at prices that were hard for local farmers to compete with.
When I think about local foods, I think about the impact they make on local community, the local environment, and the local economy.
We firmly believe that it is an essential part of a community to actually know the people who grow your food for you. And it's actually a beautiful part for farmers to actually know who they sell their food to. The program that is well known is the Local Hero program, and it's the longest running buy local program in the country. It's a marketing program that enables consumers to know what products are actually grown here in the 3 counties of Franklin, Hampshire, and Hampden counties. Well, right now we have about 240 farms that are part of the Local Hero program, but we have farms that are not part of the program who will call us up, and we're very comfortable with being the first stop for them and figuring out what's the best next step for them.
Agriculture is a really important part of our region. We have beautiful agricultural soils, and a lot of people care a lot about being able to produce food here.
Food is really important, and it's, I think, important for food security and things like that, that we have a more sustainable, localized food system as time goes on, and that we strive for that, but also for like the daily quality of life and the views that we have and the open spaces that people really enjoy here in the valley. Those things aren't just going to stay there on their own unless there's economic viability for the farms that are taking care of those landscapes.
We are now in a global agricultural system, and we know that the reason sometimes food is cheaper is either because the fuel that is used to get them here is cheaper in the moment, but there's environmental costs for using that fuel that are not being borne. We know that the wages are lower in other countries oftentimes. We know the other environmental issues around the use of plastic and bagging and 3,000 miles to 6,000 miles to send things. So that global challenge will remain. I think the way we've dealt with it is by saying there is a joy and a quality to connecting with the person who grows your food.
A lot of our systems for moving food from one place to another, for processing it and preparing it for people to eat, are really set up for our global food economy, and they're not really set up for moving food from a farm to a business that's pretty close by or a table that's close by. And so building those systems on the local level and on the regional level is kind of work that's cut out for us.
Buying local is important in so many ways. Primarily the fact that UMass Dining is the largest campus food service provider in the country currently by revenue. It means that we have a huge amount to work with in order to support local. So we believe that by buying local, we're truly supporting the local economy. And so I'm very happy to be able to support local growers, local jobs. But on top of that, it's really an issue of climate change mitigation, being able to buy food that's closer to home, using more sustainable practices, and actually having a relationship that you can build with those farmers.
And we do a lot of, I'd just say, general community education about farming, and also about the importance of restaurants and schools and food retail stores and institutions buying locally, and encouraging people to help those institutions and food retail stores to actually find and source locally from our farmers.
Our business members really range from a lot of different kinds of businesses, places like UMass Dining Services or local retirement homes that are serving locally grown food in their cafeterias, restaurants, grocery stores, and businesses that are using locally grown foods to make other products like pickles or relishes or jams.
And when they become a member, whether it be a restaurant or a retailer, they basically have a membership agreement where they're committing to purchasing local food from a minimum of 3 farms.
The Buy Local program is central to what we do. We started with a mission to work with local farmers and to help build a stronger food system. So the work that CISA had done before we came along sort of helped to build the awareness of local foods, really set the stage for opening our store.
I was really concerned that with the advent of the biggest recession since the Great Depression, how would this work? Would people actually still be able to use and vote with their dollars to support farmers in times when the economy was very bad? And in fact, what we saw was the opposite. People really had a strong need to connect to the place that they're firmly rooted in, their home.
CISA has helped us by connecting us with local farmers, working with us on sourcing products that we're looking for. A lot of what we do is look at what we're selling and look at what we could sell if we could find it locally, and CISA has helped us locate suppliers that can meet our needs.
From the moment we opened, we wanted to buy local produce, dairy, eggs, that kind of thing. And we were doing well with the dairy and the eggs. However, CISA really helped out in bringing the farmers and the cafes together. Initially, we were getting a once-a-week pickup at Enterprise Farm, which was frankly very difficult. But over the years, it's become a lot easier to get local produce because of farmers markets, because of farm deliveries, because of the meet and greets between cafes and farms that have been set up by CISA.
One of the biggest ways that CISA has been a resource for UMass is by working with us to let us know what is available local. So what are the products what's the produce that can be grown here that is plentiful, when is it in season? We actually take this information, those charts that CISA has, and we distribute it to our dining services staff here. So when they order their food, they know exactly what is in season. So they're not asking for, blueberries local in February. They're asking for them when they're available in the summer. And so the more education that our food orderers and dining services has, the more likely it is that we're going to take full advantage of all of the food items that are available to us seasonally, locally.
So the Local Hero program is to provide farmers in the Pioneer Valley with support that they need with regard to marketing their product, connecting them directly to consumers or to other wholesale outlets, really providing them with a network that can make it easy for them to continue farming.
They help out with a lot of our advertising. They do a lot of work with buying local from all the farms in the area, and that seems to help us tremendously. We've done some work, we've done some advertising through CISA, and it's always worked out really well, some radio spots and so forth.
They've been very supportive over the years, and often the first resource that we turn to when we have a question, or also a really good resource for marketing.
The Local Hero program is important to my customers. They really do respond when they see that little yellow sticker on our labels. So many of them want to know not only what the different ingredients are in what we make, but they're very pleased to know when it comes from a local source.
We started actually putting the signage up around our dining commons, and I think having that visual is a really strong value that we have here at UMass, is not only following through on our end, on the staff side, by making sure that the local produce is there, but also making sure that the students are aware of what it is we're doing. And so having that signage kind of up and really prominently displayed is one way that we help inform our students that we believe in local.
We do a lot of training programs for farmers, so we have classes particularly in the winter, and sometimes we're bringing in people who have expertise in a particular area, like financial management for farms or marketing. Lots of times we're giving farmers an opportunity to talk to each other, because farmers are really the experts in how to run farm businesses, but they're often pretty busy during the growing season, and they don't necessarily get a chance to really talk to each other in detail about how they do things.
So it's a broad range of topics that we provide them with to, again, make them a full-rounded business-oriented person versus just being, the farmer.
It's an organizational core value that CISA has, that all members of the community should have access to local food. We have a senior farm share program. And that program, basically, we pay farmers who are using a farm share model of farming, And we're paying them to grow farm shares for low-income elders in the 3 counties of Hampshire, Franklin, and Hampden counties. And so 350 low-income elders are able to get a slice of the summer harvest and they usually pick it up either at a farmer's market or a senior center or a council on aging. You talk about what's unique about the Valley, and one of the 3 items that I always hear is farms and the quality and incredible quality of the food here, and the taste, the freshness, the healthiness of it, the high skill level of farms, the beauty, the vistas the farms offer us. We actually have seen an incredible increase in passion and commitment and interest on the part of the community, and it just is talked about more, it's discussed, it's acted upon, and whether you're talking about the colleges in the area, the public schools, the senior centers, everywhere people are having a conversation, you will hear some discussion about local food and how important it is. And to me, that's really what community is about. It's about feeding each other, supporting each other, and weaving that tapestry. Local farms and local agriculture are now seen as part of the solution to many societal problems, whether it's climate change or health-related diseases that are caused by diet, whether it's sustainable communities. It's clear that farming is not the answer, but it has to be part of the answer as we try to create a better future for our children.